The first time I touched a code editor, I was beyond scared. Object-oriented, recursion, algorithms, databases, tests, programming languages, the world of software engineering felt like an impenetrable fortress, guarded by complex concepts and a language that was unknown to me. From the outside, it was beyond scary thinking about how I can go from point A all the way to point B. How can I go from basically not learning any code to working in the industry? In this video, I'm gonna go through 6 stops in my software engineering journey that I felt like was pivotal into where I am today. Hi, my name is Lewis. I'm a software developer looking to inspire other software developers and tech enthusiasts. Now, one of my earliest memories was when I was 5 years old. We were moving away from my home country, Scotland. My family and I were moving to a brand new place, Canada. Before boarding the plane, my dad bought me my first thing that could even resemble a computer, a Game Boy. Smart man. A kid on a 6-hour flight? That's a lot. To me, this was more than a distraction. Little did I know, this machine would ultimately decide my path for the rest of my life. I fell in love almost instantly. Tetris and Zelda Link's Awakenings were 2 games I would play all the time. And I would always have my head down trying to see the screen in dark areas. What if one day I could make games that people played on Game Boy? Maybe I could be a game developer. What would that entail? I struggled left and right when it came to school. Bringing home a report card or doing poorly on a test wasn't just a disappointing moment, but it gave me concrete affirmations of my biggest insecurities, that I wasn't smart or capable of doing anything. Being behind was extremely lonely and caused me to isolate. I truly felt like the odd one out, and because of this, it shattered my self-esteem. And to cope with this, I would always be on the computer. It was a way for me to escape what I was dealing with in the real world. In 2006, this is when I stumbled across Roblox. Yeah, that Roblox. I was intrigued right away. Playing games on my Game Boy, this might be the chance to be a game creator like I've always dreamed. I wanted to add a feature where users could get past a door only if they had a certain username. But how do I do that? I double-clicked the door and all I saw was scary text, known as Lua. Named after moon in Portuguese, Lua is a lightweight and powerful programming language, often used as a way to embed within another application. Developers add Lua into their games or application, like World of Warcraft or Adobe Lightroom, to let other developers have a deep customizable experience within their application. So ideally, this is perfect for a game like Roblox. But I was like 12 years old. What the hell am I reading? Thankfully, around the time, we had unregistered HyperCam 2 videos that were able to give the answer step by step. All I had to do was change the name in this section and everything worked as intended. Although a simple change was made, I learned quickly that just one little line of code had the ability to change something dramatically. If with one simple command I can change the behavior of how a door works automatically, what could happen if I wrote tens, hundreds, or even thousands of different lines of code? Possibilities were clearly endless. Are you looking to take your software development career to the next level? Then today's sponsor, Formation, is the right place for you. Formation is an adaptive learning fellowship for early mid-career engineers who want to take the next step in their career and land a role they love. When I was looking for jobs in the industry, the whole concept of it was pretty scary. Interviews, prepping, technical interviews, total compensation. It's overwhelming just thinking about it. So Formation takes the guesswork out of this and creates a personalized training roadmap to help you land your dream role at companies like Microsoft, Netflix, Google, and more. So here's how Formation can help increase your salary by an average of $96,000. Formation benchmarks your skills to help identify where you need more training to excel at your target companies. You then are given a personalized roadmap specific to your needs. You'll work with senior engineers from top companies who give you crucial feedback and mentorship, and train amongst peers who are looking to level up their career as well. All this leads to you being able to go into your interview with confidence and land your dream role. With AI to help customize your roadmap as you complete your training, Formation has helped engineers break into some of the biggest tech companies in the world. Click the link in the description to apply to the fellowship for free, where a team of recruiters will reach out with more information on how you can take your career to the next level. Thanks Formation for sponsoring this video. Now, what can I do with $96,000? My next step in life was to go to college. However, jumping into school was something that was terrifying for me. My previous experience gave me anxiety. What if I'm not capable of doing it or I'm not good enough? There, I learned what most people learn first in their software engineering journey, like C, SQL, Java, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and others. After dabbling a bit into each of these, it was very clear what my favorite was. That was HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. The fast feedback you get when working on the web platform, also mixed with seeing the result look professional rather than just as text on your prompt, was extremely satisfying. And I was hooked Almost immediately, I envisioned a website that would show off what I'm capable of, an ambitious website that would let the world know that a new ambitious programmer was going to take a part of the internet to forever be known. After days of coding, version 1 of lewismenelaws.com was released. So, a little underwhelming. What was funny is at the time, I even used software that helped make the web development process faster, like jQuery and Font Awesome. One of the killer features being spinning buttons. Hey, I remember Google+. Of course, this was the first project I ever released, and I was kind of proud of it at the time. I mean, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? Ugh. My head hurts from the emerging technologies. How can I expand my knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to not just be about creating little web pages, but instead create applications that respond to user input and even take advantage of servers? What if we added in PHP on the server and used a database of some sort? I was a massive fan of the game Dota 2 when I was in college, and an idea struck me. Often players struggle to choose a character to play, and when you hit the random button, it would automatically lock in your choice. So I made a web app that will decide what character you should play in the browser. The concept was simple. Click a button, PHP would query the database, and you would get a character to play. It was completely overkill for such a simple premise. But doing a project like this made me enjoy programming outside of the idea of doing it as a job, creating something from 0 to 1. It also made me feel like I could accomplish something, especially growing up and not being able to accomplish anything at school. Finding a problem you are encountering is an amazing way to force yourself to learn code. Take that problem and use code to solve it in the easiest way possible. When an opportunity came to actually make money by doing programming, I had to accept it. I was hired by my college to create websites using PHP and MySQL, which sounded awesome considering I just built an awesome application with it. However, it wasn't what I was expecting. PHP and MySQL in question, it was WordPress. My responsibilities was to maintain and create new WordPress websites. Similar to what many people would expect, I would maintain plugins, themes, create extra functionality, etc. The people I worked with were great, but the technology I worked with that I didn't care about was, well, draining. It really made me unmotivated to keep coding even in my spare time. Doing this type of work was really tough for me. I was burnt out, and burnout wasn't just feeling tired of coding. It was a deep exhaustion that seeped into every aspect of my life. I was dissatisfied with everything in my life. It was hard to get enjoyment out of anything that I would do. This also made my insecurities play on repeat in my head. Because I didn't code, I wouldn't be good at code. Therefore, I wasn't capable of being a programmer. It was a vicious cycle that honestly left me depressed and extremely unsure about how my future would unfold. After my contract finished in 2014, I didn't go and try and find another developer job. I instead took a different job away from technology. I was a barista at Starbucks for a couple years where I interacted with customers, drank coffee, and took a gigantic break from technology. My Dota 2 obsession was still in full swing, and as I was browsing Reddit, I thought to myself, I wonder who the most mentioned person in this game is. But then I thought, wait, I can answer this question. I quickly learned the Python programming language and immediately started to look up Reddit's API to figure out this question. It was 11 p.m. at night and I had work at 5 a.m. So I did what any reasonable person did. I coded until dawn. After constant trial and error, I was able to produce around 50 lines of code. Although not an amazing piece of software, I fell in love with code all over again. While working at Starbucks, I started to do some freelance work when it came to programming and web design, which was great, but just felt stagnant. And during these times, I would often work with my best friends, Jason, who you might see from the Day in the Life video, and Lee, who's part of the Fast Forward podcast, to do some of the photo or video work that they had with their big fancy cameras. Then it kind of clicked. Why would we all work separately when we can all work together and better? Tomorrow Media was focused on creating high quality videography, photography, and web design. We would put all of our years of experience together and make what seemed like an Avengers or Justice League. Okay. Maybe a bit too far. Becoming self-employed gave me an extreme sense of purpose and gave me an amazing incentive to continue to be better and better. Beforehand, I just had to make sure that everything ran okay. But now, I only had one way up, or I would crash and burn. This part was a very important time in my life because I found a new love and purpose for being a leader and an entrepreneur. It was a lifestyle that I fell in love with almost instantly. We had an office space and we hired other employees to help expand our operations, and things went really well for 2 to 3 years. However, building websites was still not what I wanted, and I slowly started slipping back into my old ways, feeling burnt out. I wanted to start building applications that users could interact with and get some sort of value from on a day-to-day basis. However, I didn't have a contract that was expiring. I had employees, an office space, a brand new lifestyle to uphold. So I continued with learning Python and digging into things like databases, servers, and more. Using existing clients' websites made it easy for me to try something new, like figuring out how web servers work, how databases work more in depth, trying out more advanced tools, and more. If my skills were a garden, my focus was to make more plants rather than have one plant grow extremely big. If you're unable to find time to learn new things, find ways in your current job to learn things that will improve your career. So over the year, I started focusing on improving my skills that would allow us to pivot our company to start working on software and applications. And it worked. The first client that we worked with needed an application that converted an Excel spreadsheet file into a custom XML file that would be processed on a legacy software. Lee asked me, "This is what you want to be working on? This sounds extremely boring." But I was having the time of my life doing this, learning about the nitty-gritty of how Excel files work, about how XML works, and how to automate all of this using something like Python was finally a breath of fresh air that I was looking for. The feeling of being able to automate something and then create something from absolutely scratch, it felt amazing. It almost felt like I was creating something bigger than me every time we did something like this. It was like I was creating Roblox doors all over again. So for years, we built many more software solutions for different clients and things were looking great. But as 2020 began, the world became a scary place. In April of 2020, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, unemployment skyrocketed to almost 15%. People who put their life and soul into their business were vanishing almost instantly. And as a business owner myself, what if I'm next? But during this time of uncertainty, an incredible opportunity came up, partnering with a health client to build out a suite of healthcare applications that can assist with the now majority of people needing to access healthcare through devices. Great, a cool project that we can work on for the next 6 months. No, this needed to be a working prototype in 2 to 3 weeks. Wait, 2 to 3 weeks? Not only am I learning how to use new technology and going through one of the world's worst crises, but I also have to have an MVP built in 2 weeks from this very moment. I kept telling myself that it's not possible and that I'm incapable of doing it. Where do I even start? Well, in Visual Studio Code. For weeks, I would spend my morning, afternoons, and evenings learning new technologies, implementing solution, and testing software. And as I came closer to finishing this project, I felt my inner confidence say to me, yes, you can do this. After working 16-hour days for 2 to 3 weeks, we came up with the first version of our software, and it helped a lot of people. We then focused on building an interface that administrators can use to help people self-book COVID appointments. This saved hours and hours of time from both the people wanting to test and the people trying to administrate them. Building a software like this has so many different road bumps, scaling countrywide, avoiding race conditions, accessibility, and so much more. My career and passion for coding truly became something that impacted people's lives on a daily basis during one of the worst times in our history. And with the hard work of the team, we were able to make something more than a random Dota 2 picker or creating a WordPress website. But without those projects, I couldn't be where I am today. All this comes full circle to this. Coding with Lewis. This channel is to share my love of code with other programmers and developers by combining my passion for content creation. I first started sharing open source projects that developers could use in their own applications. And it wasn't the dramatic writing or the crazy editing that you're used to seeing in my videos today. It was literally me holding my phone up to a monitor. My ultimate goal for my channel has always been to create a safe space for other programmers and developers who might be dealing with the same insecurities that I once had and are trying to overcome them. And this chapter of my journey is just beginning. Thanks so much for watching about my journey of being a self-employed software engineer. Let me know in the comments how you started learning programming. If you want to talk to me and over 7,000 other programmers, make sure you check out the Discord in the link below. And also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more dev and tech content. Peace out, coders.